Hello there! This is Oparenthesis, and welcome to another ranking video. I haven't been doing those for a while, so I'm happy to finally be back with the ranking of the top 15 shots of different buildings and so on in Star Wars. Now let me explain. In this list, I am basically looking at the transitioning shots, like between one scene and another. It doesn't really happen much in the sequel trilogy and Rogue One and everything, but mostly in the prequel and original trilogy, we had those cuts to some places, like the Naboo Royal Palace. So, for example, in the scene where Obi-Wan talks to Yoda, before we see the scene, we see a shot of the palace. Those little shots to show us the scale of different buildings and worlds. So, here are my top 15. Let's do it! At 15, we have the Jedi Temple on Coruscant at daytime from Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. This is the first time ever in the entire saga that we see the Jedi Temple, and it doesn't let us down. It's great. So much detail, so much scale. The similarity to the Emperor's Tower on the second Death Star, as the Palpatine did eventually sort of take the design from it, is incredible. It's the shot of how the camera goes through the Jedi Temple, showing its size and its beauty with all the 5 towers, and you will always love it. At number 14, we have the Senate building in Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Now this one is a true beauty to me. When I first saw the movie, I was like, oh, because it was so great. It was so enjoyable to just look at this sort of very exotic and other galaxy, yet really modern type of Senate building. And I really enjoyed the statues standing before it with the people walking around and everything. And just the design and the shape of the actual building really made me love it. At number 13, we have Dex's Diner at Attack of the Clones. Being the workplace of Obi-Wan's old friend Dexter Jettster, this is a cafe which looks pretty good in the inside, and so does it look on the outside. It's a really modern style thing, and I really do enjoy the sort of between the modern and the galactic, this parallel. And I also enjoy that it's on the street and not just alone, because it adds more realism, as most cafes are on right now in the cities on streets. At number 12, we have the Naboo Royal Palace on feed after the victory of the Naboo battle. So basically, there are thousands of great shots of the feed palace, but this one is one of the greatest in my opinion. With the sunset and the excellent use of light and shadows, this one definitely earns the 12th spot. Number 11, we have Senator Palpatine's apartments from Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. After the Queen is taken to Senator Palpatine to talk about the upcoming Senate meeting, we see the lovable house of Senator Palpatine. Why did I say lovable? Well, I don't know myself, but probably because Senator Palpatine is lovable. Well, anyway, it's great. This design is really on point. Something only geniuses could imagine, like George Lucas and his crew. Because Come on, really, how are we supposed to think of that? Like, it's so hard to imagine something so creative, something so detailed, and that so much effort was put into. That is why this building definitely earns the 11th spot, also being the house of my favorite Star Wars character. At number 10, we have a shot of the Trade Federation flagship from Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Now, there have been thousands of shots of this flagship. However, the one that I want to focus on the most is my favorite. Right before the second conversation between the Neimoidians of the Trade Federation and Darth Sidious, we see this beautiful shot of the flagship orbiting, or should I say blockading, Naboo, basically in the Trade Federation blockade. It's great, and I want to talk about the design. The design with the two arms, almost like it's a head with two arms, is great, menacing, intriguing, and interesting, and definitely earns the 10th spot. At number 9, we have the Cloud City shots. All of them. Now, seriously, every single shot of Cloud City is absolutely gorgeous. George Lucas and his crew really did a good job at creating sci-fi, or should I say fantastic, yet sort of still sci-fi environments. Cloud City is one of them. The physics of this place, although not realistic, are absolutely genius and brilliant. So is the look, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's stunning, and it's almost like such a place existed in the real world. Earning it number 9. On number 8, we have the close-up on the meditation chamber of the Jedi Temple. Before Yoda's very interesting and intriguing conversation with Anakin happens inside the meditation chamber, we see this incredible close-up, which is absolutely gorgeous. It looks so good in HD that I really just want to see it again and again. Another great shot of the Jedi Temple, and there are much more, but for this list I had to only take a few, and this is probably one of my favorite. Number 7, we have the Theed Spaceport and the Theed Royal Plaza. Now those two are together on the same spot because they're literally next to each other in the movie. When Anakin and Padme, well, R2 as well, arrive on Naboo, they first arrive at the spaceport but then go towards the Royal Plaza to meet with Queen Jamilia. And the both things are, I just don't need to say anything. Naboo is brilliant with all the birds and everything. It feels so natural, so earthly, and yet so intergalactic. Everything, the elements of our world and the elements of the Star Wars universe are mixed in this incredibly, basically natural and sort of fresh environment. And even the Millennium Falcon makes a cameo here. At number 6, I have the landscape of the Petranaki Arena from Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. So, the Petranaki Arena on Geonosis is just exotic, strange, and unthinkable. The entire Geonosis population with all the cities, it's really like ants and thermits, but it's also kind of modern. And mixing those up, the crew of George Lucas created this very strange yet sort of known world. It's hard to explain, but what I can say for sure is that this world is more than great. Every single detail with all the creatures, with all the landscapes, and especially the Petranaki Arena with the towers and everything, and it's just great. I really don't have much to say on this one. At number 5, we have the shot of General Grievous's flagship, the Invisible Hand, in Revenge of the Sith. When Obi-Wan, Chancellor Palpatine, and Anakin are captured and brought before Grievous, we see a quick shot of his flagship, the Invisible Hand. I think it's great because of the color patterns with the purple, the green, and the black, and the blue and the dark blue, all the colors mixing up together, and I find the design of and the how the colors are put into the different places with the lights and everything really intriguing and a really good quality. So this one definitely gets a pass, and it's one of my favorites. At number 4, I have the long take of Mos Espa in episode 2. When Anakin and Padme arrive to Mos Espa, we see this long shot of the city with danfas and different cars and everything, and it's just beautiful. Seeing so much of the city, so much of its exoticness, of its sort of normal day life. It is a real treat to see so much of the normal daily life of the people in the other galaxy far, far away. Especially I love the Nunas and so on, and all the creatures add up to a great shot. At number 3, I have the Galactic Senate at night from episode 2. This shot is even more glorious than the first shot that I described in the Galactic Senate in episode 1. That time it was happening at daytime, but this is around a sort of twilight, or should I say even night. And it's even more great because the shot is just so dark, yet the green lamps inside the Senate and the light makes it really good with the sort of lamps all around the city, and I mean the street, and the statue still there, but in even greater sort of shape with the darkness surrounding them, and it all adds up to a marvelous shot with some and it's very pleasant and satisfying to look at. So this is my number 3. And now about number 2, or should I say 1. I didn't quite plan this out, so when I came down to it, I didn't have a number 2. I only had the number 1. So let's skip number 2 because there is no number 2 and go to number 1. The Galactic Opera House of Coruscant in episode 3. This is probably the greatest shot I ever seen in a Star Wars movie. Actually, it is. It's just, first of all, it's really detailed, and you can even see the inside of the opera house from the outside with the people walking, and it has so much. Like it isn't as simple as other on this list. It's probably one of the most difficult and the most detailed things I've ever seen. So much detail, so much colors, so much different of my favorite colors like green, pink, purple, black, and so on, mixed in a great sort of way, and adding up to a very nice and a very visually interesting, almost wanting to study it shot. So that was my list. Do you agree with my picks? Tell me in the comments below about your list and how do you rank those shots in the Star Wars universe. If you want more stuff like this, of course you have to you can subscribe to the channel. Of course, it would really help if you would like this video, if you would click that notification bell just to make sure that you don't miss any of my content. And you can always share this video with a friend. Thank you, and may the Force be with you.